Welcome back, Caistrology family, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Cailin, and on my channel I post monthly horoscope videos, monthly tarot pick-a-card predictions, and content related to spirituality and occult knowledge. So if this is the kind of content that you're interested in, please hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified every time I post a new video. As for this month, for November 2020, it is wild, guys. We've got 3 planets that are finally turning direct. We've got Jupiter and Pluto forming their 3rd and final conjunction in the sign of Capricorn. And we've also got a full moon eclipse at the end of the month. So guys, if you're only going to watch one video today, please watch for your ascendant sign, and you can certainly watch for your sun and moon signs as well. But without further ado, let's just dive straight in. Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Risings. Welcome to your November 2020 horoscope. The month starts off with Mercury finally being direct in the sign of Libra, which is in your 9th house. The Mercury retrograde period started from the middle of October, and at first it was in Scorpio and then it regressed back into Libra. So you might have actually experienced issues with travel plans, with any kind of higher education studies that you have undertaken. You might have submitted a thesis or some sort of coursework where you've been waiting for results, and the receiving those results has been delayed. The good news is that after the 3rd of November, and definitely from middle of November onwards, you can finally receive these results back. If you have been having miscommunications with your professors, your teachers, or anyone who's in a mentorship position with you, these misunderstandings and miscommunications can be ironed out, which is great. For others of you, you might have been experiencing miscommunications with your father, or at the very least, there might have been some simple misunderstandings. If you have been working on publishing a book, or you are in the publishing industry, you might have experienced issues with publications themselves. There might have been delays or technical difficulties at work. On the whole, I'm sure that you've been experiencing technical difficulties, because we all do during Mercury retrograde. But the good news is, once it's direct, everything can run smoothly in that department. Now we've got Venus in Libra from the end of October through to the 20th of November. So you can enjoy your relationship with your father if you've been having complications. You can enjoy traveling, not for all of you, but for some of you. At the very least, you'll be enjoying making travel plans and deciding where it is that you want to go on a trip to. For others of you, during the Mercury retrograde period, you might have had issues with organizing your paperwork or your visas to either relocate to another country or to come back to your home country. But all of these issues will again be straightening out, and with Venus in Libra in your 9th house, that planet will add a sense of ease and things going smoothly, finally. Now on the 10th of November, Mercury will be entering the sign of Scorpio, and that will be in your 10th house. As I mentioned, initially, Mercury was retrograde in the sign of Scorpio before going into Libra, going backwards into Libra. So in the 10th house, you might have had misunderstandings with your boss, with upper level management. Things might have been quite unclear in terms of their expectations of you or what your responsibilities are. And, if you've been wanting to go for a leadership position, you might have brought this up with your boss or with higher level management a few times, and you've been knocked back. You keep bringing up how much work you're doing, how hard you're working, that you deserve this promotion. Or you might have just said, hey, can you put my name forward for this upcoming promotion? And you wanted to remind your boss, so you could have seen a repetition of conversations with your boss during that period. Now, on another note, something scandalous or shocking might have come out in your company or your organization pertaining to either your boss or someone in really high level management, because Mercury is about information, and when it's in the sign of Scorpio, it represents secrets. And when Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio, we see these secrets being divulged. So, there could have been quite a shocking time at your workplace. Hopefully you weren't involved. If you don't have any planets in Scorpio, then hopefully you came clean out of that one. But moving right along, on the 12th of November, we will see the third and final conjunction between Jupiter and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. Now, Aquarius, this conjunction occurred the first two times on the 4th of April, the 30th of June, and for the third time, all in your 12th house. So anytime we see these two planets form an exact conjunction, which only happens every 12 to 13 years, we have some kind of crisis occur in relation to the house that it rules. So in the 12th house, this could be regarding a phobia or a fear. And I mean a long-term phobia or fear that you have. It could be something that you're not even aware of. It could be subconscious and buried in your subconscious, or maybe you didn't even realize that you had a certain fear or phobia. And from early April, you came face to face with this, or at the very least, it was bubbling under the surface because the 12th house rules your subconscious self, and some kind of crisis burst forth and you again had to come face to face with it. So for others of you, it might not be a fear or phobia. It could be that you have an addiction, so some escapist tendencies, whether that's drugs, alcohol, or it could even be video games. It's something that you are running away from and you are losing yourself in it, and therefore you're trying to escape reality. It could even be watching way too much TV. And for others, it doesn't have to be an addiction. It doesn't have to be a fear or phobia. For others of you, you could have had some huge spiritual awakening, because the 12th house rules spirituality, and it also rules over elements of the occult, astrology, tarot reading, past life regressions, seeing psychics, seeing mediums, anyone who is in touch with the other realm, with the invisible realm. So you might have, had some sort of epiphany, or finally decided to confront these deep-seated issues that you've just buried down for so long. And the way that you decided to confront them is to see a tarot reader or an astrologer. And this has now led you onto a spiritual path or journey. In any case, Aquarius, the results of this conflict or this crisis that you've experienced since the beginning of April up till mid-November, it will reap beneficial results. You will finally kick this habit, this addiction, or you'll finally be able to let go of the phobias or the fears or the emotional baggage that you've carried with you. And this is a karmic transit, Aquarius, because Pluto is one of the planets, along with Saturn, that represent karma. And with Pluto, it's definitely karma from your past life. So anyway, Aquarius, good on you for getting through that. Again, I'm going to call it a crisis, because I would say that the 12th house is one of the most difficult houses to have that conjunction in, because you're battling some sort of unforeseen forces. You're battling your own inner demons, and that's really not easy to do. Now, on the 14th of November, we will see Mars being direct in your 3rd house. Mars has been retrograde since the 9th of September. So for 2 months, you've probably been experiencing disagreements, arguments with siblings, cousins, extended relatives, people that you work with, your friendship group, your friendship circle. I don't mean your wider network of friends. I mean, like, if you've got a core group of 5 or 6 mates, even school friends, teammates, anyone that you're working on a team project with. Now, I'm not saying that you've had all out brawls with these people or screaming matches, but certainly with Mars being direct in your third house, there's this element of tension, friction, conflict with these individuals or these groups of people, whether they're annoying you or they're getting frustrated with you personally. Things just don't go well when Mars is involved, in the sense that Mars retrograde can bring that out in others, and Mars in Aries, where Aries is already quite an assertive sign. It's a fiery sign, and the combination of those two things is like, if anyone's going to have an all-out screaming match, it's during Mars retrograde season. So the good news is that from the 14th of November, with it being direct, you can finally iron out these disagreements. Now, for some of you, you might have had disagreements. It might have been issues working on team projects, and you probably had to edit things and redo them over and over again. For some of you, you might have had to redo something from scratch because you were told that it, didn't meet the requirements, or certain team members weren't happy with the outcome, or perhaps it was you. But team projects will now go well. These relationships will now go smoothly. If you had issues with any kind of commerce, business or sales role, or company that you're a part of, that you work for, or that you own with other people, these things will again start going well. They'll start going smoothly. And you might have had issues with any kind of daily commute, planning short trips, whether it's for business or short getaway trips. And it could have been simply delays with technology, as I mentioned, or having a whole bunch of meetings and appointments be rescheduled or cancelled completely. All of this is behind you now, Aquarius, so you don't have to worry about that any longer. Now, the next day, on the 15th of November, there will be a new moon in Scorpio, which is at 23 degrees, and it's in a wide conjunction with Mercury at 5 degrees, and that's in a wide opposition with Uranus at 8 degrees. So this is occurring in your 10th house. The new moon is in your 10th house, and there will be some kind of unexpected development with this new moon because Uranus is involved, and Uranus is the planet of swift change, shocking events, and sudden upheavals. So a sudden promotion could be on the cards. You could suddenly find yourself in a position of leadership. You could certainly be taking on more responsibilities at work, even if it's not an all-out promotion or a change in title. Your boss might pull you aside and say, hey, you've been doing a great job. I just want to acknowledge how well you've been doing. And, do you feel comfortable taking on these other responsibilities, which will help you to prove yourself and what you're capable of when we come up for the next promotion or position that becomes available in a leadership capacity. Now, for others of you, you might have a sudden change in direction for your career. You may decide that, and it'll be out of the blue. It might be that you were in one career and now you're having a total sea change and you want to pursue something else. It might take you by surprise, or it might take others by surprise. The fact that it is opposite Uranus in the 4th house means that if it's going to take someone by surprise, it's likely that it's your immediate family, and especially your parents, or maybe even your mother in particular. She may not approve of this change, but don't worry, Aquarius. We have Venus entering your 10th house on the 20th of November, and this energy that you will experience from Venus will be one of harmony and diplomacy, and basically things just going right. So if you did want to ask your boss for promotion. If they're not coming to you and offering you more responsibilities and a leadership role, after Venus enters Scorpio on the 20th of November, you will be held in high regard by your boss and certainly by people in upper management or, in high positions of power and authority in your organization or in your company, and you will be looked upon favorably during this period. You'll be more diplomatic, you'll be more charming. It'll be a good time for you at work if you need to ask for anything. It doesn't need to be about a promotion or taking on more responsibility. If you've got a moody boss, which is likely because the sign of the 10th house is Scorpio, so you probably do have a tempestuous or a moody boss. If you've been waiting for the right time to ask them for some time off, now would be the time to do it. Now on the 20th of November, we will also see the sun entering Sagittarius, and that is in your 11th house. And basically that means that Sagittarius season has started. Wherever the sun goes, each month it changes signs, so once per month. That's where we can focus some of our attention, or our attention is drawn to the matters of that house, whether we direct it there ourselves or not. Now, the 11th house rules your wider friendship networks, your acquaintances. It also rules your long-term goals and aspirations. And I don't mean what you're doing next month or in 6 months. I mean your long-term goals. So with the sun here, you could really be thinking about what it is that you want to achieve in the future. You could simply be spending more time with your friends, with your friendship circle. And, for others of you, you could be receiving some kind of award or recognition, because the 11th house represents your gains, and it also represents your salary and the wage that you earn as well. It's one of the houses that represents finances. So things could go well in that department for you, Aquarius. On the 29th of November, Neptune will be direct in the sign of Pisces, and this is in your 2nd house. Neptune is retrograde for 5 months of every year. So it's an energy that we are all very accustomed to, and the fact that it's in your 2nd house means that you might just have more clarity surrounding your finances. The 2nd house is one of the other finance houses. So more clarity surrounding your financial income and how you are making money. As you can see from this video, Aquarius, there's a lot of attention and energy that has been directed and shone onto your career, your money, what you're earning, and your goals for your direction in life. And from December, Aquarius, it's going to be all about you guys. We're going to have Saturn and Jupiter leaving the sign of Capricorn and entering Aquarius, and that's your 1st house. So life's going to change from December for you guys, I can tell you now. Get excited about my December horoscope videos, Aquarius. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I suggest you do so if you're enjoying this video. Now, last but not least, we have a full moon eclipse in Gemini at 8 degrees, and this is occurring in your 5th house. It is in a wide conjunction with the North Node at 19 degrees, and Aquarius, eclipses bring events which are fated in nature, and we see the repercussions of these eclipses within 3 to 6 months after the event, though I would go as far as to say any time from when the eclipse happens until the 6-month mark, which will be, I suppose, end of May. You can see any of the following occur. In your 5th house, it's all about your creative hobbies and your passions. And with a full moon eclipse, it's about the completion of something coming full circle, and it's about cycles ending. And it's a celebration as well. So with the 5th house, you could have finally launched, turned your hobby or your passion into your dream career. If you've been working on building your own business, your own company, whether it's, a shop that you own or an online business, you could even be a performer in the entertainment industry, because the 5th house rules entertainment of all kinds. You could be an actor, actress, you could be an athlete, a dancer, a politician, or even simply an artist. You could be a writer. If you're working in any of these professions, Aquarius, or in any of these areas, you have probably been working on some kind of creative project which is now ready to launch into the world. Or again, if it's your own business, you can finally launch that. It would be a good time to do that, but it's fated, so that's what it is. That's what it is that you've been working on. You're going to do it around then anyway, whether you're conscious of it or not. And lastly, for some of you, this could involve a pregnancy, and that's especially if you have your moon in Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, that is all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Again, if you would like to see more content from me, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you guys next time.